In terms of training for buses and railway police and truck drivers, we are trying, and we have actually done some training with them inside India.
Thank you.
Good evening, Ms. Gupta. I'm a prosecutor here in Cumberland County, and I had the great good fortune to receive several emails from members of our enlightened judiciary. And what they sent me was an article that talked about several countries around the world that have actually decriminalized prostitution and the unintended consequences in some of those countries where the decriminalization actually increased exploitation of women. And I'm wondering if you could speak about the difference between countries that first provided adequate services for survivors of sex trafficking and then decriminalized versus those that decriminalized without paying any attention to the need for services for survivors of sex trafficking.
Yeah, I think, one of the things that I've begun to do is to use the language even more explicitly. So instead of saying decriminalizing prostitution, because most people think that when we are talking about decriminalizing prostitution, we are talking about decriminalizing the prostituted women. But actually, in many places, when they are talking about decriminalizing prostitution, they are talking about decriminalizing pimping, brothel keeping, and advertisement for sexual services. And I don't think that any country in the world would want to make pimping legal or brothel keeping legal. So that is something that we have to look at, because that only increases and entrenches the sex industry further. And of course, there has to be more investment in victim services, because without investment in victim services, what will happen is that in any case, the traffickers will go scot-free, and there will be nobody to testify against them. But also, in an end in itself, victims need support to rebuild their lives, and they need budget allocations for that. They need, somebody was asking what kind of facilities. The first thing a victim needs is housing. She's always worried about a roof. The second thing she needs is some facilities for her children, because she's worried about what's going to happen to her children. And then, some way of earning an income to put food on the table so that she can start getting connected to mainstream life. But even before that, detox. And so, it's many things which can be done through a network of services or by one person who's coordinating all the services. In the United States, different states have done different things. They've also linked up with domestic violence shelters.
Thank you.
Is it true that if they provide services before decriminalizing, that's better than the other way around?
Yeah, I think both have to be done, because there's, just to answer the last part of your question, that which should be done first, decriminalizing pimping, criminalizing pimping, and or creating victim services. I think in most countries, in any case, pimping is criminal. The debate right now is whether to make pimping legal. And so the first thing is to create victim services, because pimping is already illegal and it is criminal. And then to see how also at the same time decriminalize prostituted women. That has to be done simultaneously with victim services. It should be part of the same act. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Join me in thanking Ruchira. I'm going to thank you in my notes. Okay? I want to thank you, Ruchira, not just for those remarks and calling us to action, but for accepting our invitation from Justice for Women, for being so generous with your time. It's going to be 5 full days nonstop of talking to anybody who's interested in this topic. For your commitment to educating us about the worldwide movement, which you founded and still lead, but most importantly, for helping us to shine a light on this problem in our own community, helping us to start talking about what's happening to our girls, and our women who want to leave prostitution but have no way out, no choices, nowhere to go, and no help. For talking openly about what you saw during high school and what people there told you was going on. Bringing our diverse community together. We had new Mainers at just about every single event that we held, and they've become part of the conversation. Thank you, thank you. I also want to thank Peter Pitagoff, the outgoing dean, for his years of support and his commitment to justice for women. During his tenure, we've grown. We've added a summer internship for a law student to work in the human rights law firm of Unity Dow in Botswana. We've done that 2 years in a row. Ruchira has agreed to take on an intern as well. Actually, I started with Unity Dow asking each speaker each year if they would take an intern the following summer. They all said yes, but unfortunately years 2 and 3 were in Liberia and Afghanistan, so those are on hold. I also want to welcome Dean-designate Danielle Conway, who has come to a number of events in the last 4 days and has made it very clear that she's going to support us, help us to grow and expand what we're doing. Thanks to our community partners who made the week possible, creating the opportunity for all these conversations and supporting us financially. Portland Public Schools, Deering High School. We're working closely with them to ensure that our speaker each year gets folded into their curriculum. CIEE President Jim Pello has been with us from day one, once again with help from his staff, Jill Sadie and others. He put on a first-class event today. Casey Jennings of Girl Rising was present at the event and talked about things that we could do together. Ruchira's talk, if you noticed on the slides, was streamed to 200 students in 25 countries live. CIEE has awarded scholarships to 4 young women from Deering to attend one of their international leadership courses this summer, and each one is going to a different country. They've also invited 2 young women from Apne who are daughters of prostituted women that Apne has saved from that fate to come to Maine this coming summer and be a part of their leadership course here. So the relationships will continue. Thanks to U.S. Attorney Tom Delahanty, victim witness advocate Heather Putnam, Assistant U.S. Attorneys Margaret Groban, Julia Lopez, who organized an event with more than 90 law enforcement people yesterday morning at the Wishcamper Center, where they could talk about what they see, what they know. Each one of the panelists posed a challenge to Ruchira, described some very difficult problem they struggled with, and even though we're many, many miles apart, the conversation was one. There were so many similarities just in the human dynamic that she was able to direct them and help them. Thanks to Bates and Colby and USM, especially Reza Jalali of the Office of Multicultural Student Affairs, who once again filled the 7th floor of the Glickman Library with students who came to hear Ruchira speak and connected us with the India Association of Maine. And a very special thank you to those of you who are helping us to reach the goal of creating a $475,000 endowment that will make this program sustainable and permanent. When we first started this, the list of donors in the program was about that long. And if you look in your program now, it fills a whole page. So we're making progress, but it's very slow. So I ask all of you to help us reach that goal and make this a program that we will keep in this community year after year. We're 43% of the way to our goal. We just need a little bit more. On your way out, you'll see these beautiful bags that the women of Apne made for us. They say justice for women, bringing global voices to the people of Maine. We're selling them. 100% of the money goes towards this cause. And if you're lucky, Ruchira will even autograph your bag. And a special thanks to Maddie Corson, who is leading our fundraising initiative, who's been so generous with her time and with her assistance. So, take a bag, look at the books on the table. There's a resource list that Bob Moyer, who is a psychology professor emeritus from Bates College, put together for us, showing books and films if you want to know more about this topic. And check us out on the website, Facebook, and Twitter. And thanks again to everybody for coming.